and what policy each of the bills is anchored on. Honorable Speaker, these are some of the things that even the courts have been speaking to, that we need to sensitize Kenyans on the import of each and every legislative proposal that we bring to this House. And the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and others like the Ministry of Environment have already begun that stakeholder engagement and sensitization of Kenyans on the import of these bills, on what policies they are anchored on, and what impact of the following bills from 14 days to 12 days in order to facilitate public and stakeholder engagement. 1, the Public Finance Management Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2024. 2, the Public Finance Management Amendment number 4 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 45 of 2024. 3, the Tax Procedures Amendment number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2024. 4, the Tax Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 47 of 2024. 5, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 48 of 2024. And 6, the Business Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 49 of 2024. Honorable Speaker, for information to members and the country, these 6 bills, Honorable Speaker, are very important bills to us and to the country. Honorable Speaker, you are aware that there are many very progressive proposals, including the tax amnesty that Kenyans were waiting for at the end of the last financial year, the tax amnesty that lapsed on the 30th of June. Honorable Speaker, with the loss of the finance bill, some of the good proposals that were there, like that tax amnesty, have evaded Kenyans, and quite a number of business people are suffering from incessant demands by KRA for both their tax arrears and penalties and interest. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, some of the proposals include that tax amnesty bill in this tax procedures amendment bill. Others deal with the public finance management and public procurement. The business laws, Honorable Speaker, also carry very crucial amendments to many business laws, Honorable Speaker, especially in the manufacturing industry, that will facilitate the local manufacture, local production of goods locally. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, if we are not able to reduce the publication period of these bills, we may not be able to conclude with their enactment before the end of this session on the 5th of December, according to our calendar. Therefore, we want to reduce the publication period by just 2 days so that we may begin. Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from the Honorable Pukose. He's louder than me on the mic. Pukose. I know he's eager to put the question.
The majority leader is giving a very good explanation from some serious amendments. I think it's important to allow members to pay attention.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying thank you for that protection. I was saying, Honorable Speaker, in view of our scheduled calendar, we are to progress or to proceed on the long recess on the 5th of December, and we want to avoid a situation where we have to recall members for a special sitting, and also save especially those business people who have now to deal with KRA on matters of tax amnesty, at least to have this tax amnesty in place before the end of this year, so that they may not continue accruing interest and penalties. And therefore, would want to see the enactment of all these bills before the end of this financial year and the end of this session. And that's what I was saying, Honorable Speaker, by reducing this publication period by only 2 days, from 14 days to 12 days, we will create time after, without anticipating debate, Honorable Speaker, on order number 12 all the way to order number 17, we will be able to progress to public participation and stakeholder engagement. And allow me, Honorable Speaker, to thank the Ministries of Finance, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and also our Chair Finance and the Chair Trade and Industry, because I have already seen them begin that public and stakeholder engagement. Last week, I saw them in what you'd call a town hall debate on Citizen TV, engaging Kenyans and explaining to Kenyans the import of these bills and under what policy each of the bills is anchored on. Honorable Speaker, these are some of the things that even the courts have been speaking to, that we need to sensitize Kenyans on the import of each and every legislative proposal that we bring to this House. And the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and others like the Ministry of Environment have already begun that stakeholder engagement and sensitization of Kenyans on the import of these bills, on what policies they are anchored on, and what impact they will have on businesses, the positive impact they will have on businesses, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, for us as the National Assembly, we also need to engage in that stakeholder engagement. And for us to have time to have meaningful, qualitative and quantitative public participation, as we have been told by the court, Honorable Speaker, we thought it was important to reduce the publication period by those 2 days so that they may come for first reading, and we begin the engagement, the relevant committees begin the engagement with the public, Honorable Speaker, sensitizing them, informing them, so that, again, we preempt what we saw happen with the finance bill in June, where people, and many other bills, Honorable Speaker, including the land amendment clause, where people pick up just a small element of a legislative proposal and spin it out of in a narrative that will suit their political narrative, Honorable Speaker, and not necessarily the truth. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, we have learned that part of what we should begin to do early is to inform Kenyans, and that's why we want this opportunity to begin to inform Kenyans. And that's why I said, Honorable Speaker, again, I thank the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Ministry of Environment for the sensitization that they have done with these particular legislative proposals, that even before they submitted the legislative proposals to the National Assembly, Honorable Speaker, I know that the ministries did advertise for Kenyans to submit their views on each of the legislative proposals that they wanted to touch on, whether it's from manufacturing, whether it's on the tax procedures, how Kenyans would expect to have a tax management system or a tax system that is more efficient, fair, and justifiable, Honorable Speaker. And from the many proposals that Kenyans gave to the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Trade, that is what was then sieved down into the legislative proposals that were brought to the House. As I said, they have further engaged stakeholders, as I said on Citizen TV last week, and now it will be our time as the National Assembly to meaningfully engage Kenyans, and I want to trust that the chair of the Trade and Industry Committee, the Honorable Gakuya, who is here, the Honorable Kimani Kuria, who is also here, that they will embark to, and also the Committee on Trade by the Honorable Gikaria, Environment, they will engage Kenyans on many of these proposals so that Kenyans are well informed and not misinformed and disinformed by those who are intent on disinforming and misinforming Kenyans. Many of these proposals, Honorable Speaker, as I said, are critical, not just for the continuity of business in this country, but also to ensure that businesses are saved from the penalties and interest that are being levied to them by KRA on account of tax arrears. Many, Honorable Speaker, are suffering from cheap imports, that we can protect them, and it is our duty as legislators to protect our local industries so that we may spur growth from the manufacturing sector of our economy. Honorable Speaker, for those members who are in Naivasha, we had an engagement with KEPSA. And when the chairman of KEPSA spoke in that meeting, he indicated how manufacturers today are shifting to other destinations like Uganda, Tanzania, because they have created a more conducive manufacturing environment than ours. It is these incentives, Honorable Speaker, for creating a conducive manufacturing sector in our country that are contained in this Business Laws Amendment Bill. The Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act Amendment has good proposals, and I want to ask members, please appraise yourselves with the contents of these bills so that even when you are confronted by the media with questions as to what is contained in these bills, we do not go back and say that we do not know, or you do not know, like we had somebody saying she does not know the difference between Shif and Shifo. Honorable Speaker, I will be very embarrassed to hear the same member now say she doesn't know the difference between the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment Bill and the Tax Procedures Amendment Bill or the Business Laws Amendment Bill. Let us appraise ourselves with the contents of all these bills. Honorable Speaker, I want to commit that we have agreed with the chairs of these committees that in due course, as soon as the substantive speaker is back, we will organize a kamukunji that will also appraise members on each of the provisions contained in all these bills so that we are all well informed and ready to debate when the debate begins, when the bills come for second reading without anticipating debate. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request the majority whip, the one and only Honorable Silvanus Osoro, to second.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I may really not have anything useful to add.